What's going on, guys? So this is a really big sword. That box is a bit smaller than I would think it would be. And this over here is a really silly gimmick. But this is Master Grade Monday, guys. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so on this Master Grade Monday, we're going to take a look at this guy. And it is almost readable. So it says Destiny, I'm assuming Gundam. And this says oh crap. Anyways, yeah, it is actually the extreme burst mode of the MG Destiny. And guys, this one is actually a Patreon pick from good old Andy Tubbs. Because I was behind on my Patreon stuff, so I gave him all the choice, and he went with this guy. So since we looked at the Impulse last week, I figure why not go with the Evolution, or at least the next stage of the not protagonists' mobile suits. So here we have a great shot of the Destiny doing what the Destiny do. And it looks like this is happening pretty much in the final battle. You've got all the explosions in the background, you've got his big old sword. I don't know why he's backhanding the sword, because Shin's a weirdo. And you got the Palma Fiacina over there actually doing its thing. There's a lot of dumbness with the Destiny, but I'll talk about that later. But we've got MG, Master Grade, up here. We have whatever this says right here. Probably has something to do with the Wings of Light, if I had to guess. And Bandai down there, and the big old letters right here. And yeah, it is in a way definitely related to the... I guess it was the full burst version. Yeah, the full burst version of the Strike Freedom. And of course, I'm going to go with this one. Why would I buy the regular one? So if you come to this side of the box, you have more stuff you can't read, but you've got the nice shot here of the thing going there, which I believe that's probably calling it the Palma Fiacina, because that's actually what it's called. Why it has an Italian name on a Japanese thing, I don't know. Got him holding the rifle there. You got the Wings of Light happening here. You've got effect parts, because of course you do. Stuff here, stuff here, stuff there. Stuff doing the things in the here, and the stuff doing the things in the here. And you got chrome coating parts. I don't know if chrome is the right word. Maybe just silver. You got figures, so you got a Shin and you have Akira. And if you... I don't know where these come from. Obviously, that probably says it, but you've got a couple of them there. And you got markings. Come over here, and you have whatever that says, and then all the information on that, and you got the Extreme Blast Mode, big old V-fin, Master Grade Gundam seat. You got gimmicks and weapons, you got all the things, you got stuff and pointy shoulders, you have a really big rifle, you have the waist flips forward or backwards or whatever, you got hips do a thing, Pat P, that's an awkward thing. And you got, ooh, wings, do wing-shaped things. Oh, hey, there's a thing. And oh, knees can do knee parts. And you got the Showdown display, because I can't read Showdown. But the weird thing is, he didn't really fight the Strike Freedom for very long. He fought the Infinite Justice. But hey, you can totally do it. So you can reenact that one scene ever. I don't know. But then you've got all the things that come in the box, and there's quite a lot in this box, guys. And you've got warnings, and little guy's toilet, you got what I assume says 15 and up, and you got 7,000 yen. Pretty expensive kit, and you got illustrated by Morishita Naochika, one of my favorite artists. Extreme Burst. Extreme upside down. Yeah, I'm a dork, I know. But let's go ahead and get this thing out here and see how annoying it is. I mean, cool. Cool? Cool, yeah. So guys, here we have the Destiny. Oh... right off the bat, guys, this thing is and has always been a bit of a mess. Now, I did a better job putting this thing together than I did the Strike Freedom back in the day, but I did this one later. I think I even did this one after I did the Impulse, which is why some of the painting and the build quality is a little bit better. But this thing has so many flaws, and part of me thinks it really does just straight up come down to the actual Gundam, not just the kit being flawed. Sorry, I knocked the camera just a little bit there. But let's just go through it. First and foremost, we're going to start talking accessories before we really look at the Gundam, because this thing comes with so much. But let's talk about these right off the bat. These little like 1/20th scales of Kira and Shin. And the weird thing is they're both very, very similar. I mean, look at their hairstyles. They're literally just a reverse of each other. And if you guys like these things, by all means, get them, paint them, do whatever. I might one day, or I might give them to Mitchell, see if he can paint them up. They do come with clear bases. Obviously, I never bothered, you know, messing with those. They just lived in a box. Let's go with the bigger thing you get. Much like the Freedom and even the Strike Freedom, you get this nice little like wing-shaped base. Of course, it looks just like the wings of the thing. And it has an attachment up here. So when you combine it with this backpack piece right here, you can do that. But I use the action-based stand because, well, it takes up a lot less footing and it is adjustable. And this is a cradle type, very much like the Freedom, or I think it's Strike Freedom or Freedom, one of them. Strike Freedom has, where it cradles around the backpack. So that's actually very, very easy. You just kind of snug it up under there, like so. Nice and easy, lemon squeezy, and I definitely suggest putting this guy on a stand, because that backpack is so heavy, he really does want to topple over a lot, realistically. So go ahead and set that out of the way. With his weapons, you get this nice little beam rifle. Not too bad, just molded in a couple colors. You got solid gray, little red bit there, just like the Impulse's rifle was. No big deal. And it will tab in on his butt skirt using those little tabs right there. And I don't even know if I can get back in there. You can see the two little tabs right there. Now, I think I've got the back or the torso unlocked here. Let me see. There we go. Tab that in there, and maybe I can actually get this thing in here. Fold the reticle down. I just tried to. Oop, I missed. I got one. I didn't get both. There we go. So it can totally store on the butt skirt. Nice and easy. Well, really, it's not that easy. But you saw, I managed it. I want him to lean forward a little bit, so let me see. Oh, nope, that may have been a bad plan. Alright, he does come with a couple different hands. We'll go ahead with the ones that I think are specifically made for the gun. And they do come in this really nice, almost chrome finish. I mean, it's not super shiny, or not, well, I should say it's not perfectly shiny. It is very shiny. But I like this. And you do have the tab in the palm, like you do with this generation of model kit. And you just do up all the fingers and shove that in there. And you will hold the rifle fairly nice, just like so. Now, the one reason to really get this kit is the fact that just like the Strike Freedom, you get the coated parts. And that's awesome. It's on the hands, it's on the joints, it's on a lot of the frame that is all exposed. Now, you can hold the rifle, but one thing I don't want to do is pull this hand out for right now. So you can hold the rifle, and you've got basically an HG style system here with the ball peg. You've got the ball peg there. The reason I don't want to put this one in is because the little fork right there tends to come off instead of the ball joint coming out. But you guys can imagine very well how a rifle gets held. Plus, I almost never have them displayed with the rifle. Okay, where to go next? Because there's a lot of stuff here. Alright. Stay. Okay, so let's just go with, we'll go with the next set of hands. So you get a left and right open palm hand, where you can actually see the little beam emitter for the palm if he has seen us. And those realistically are literally just palm lasers, just shoot the lasers.
And no, I'm not even going to address the stupid shin finger.
Now, the cool thing is you do get a thing for that. So it's just this 3-piece little thing. So it's this part, and this part. Now, realistically, this is supposed to be a blue plastic. They sent it completely in white. So I guess if you want to airbrush it or hit it with a blue metallic marker, you can. My blue metallic is dead. Now, the cool thing is you just push this right in here, right around the thumb, and you get this neat beam effect. I actually dig that. And you can use it. This is what I'm going to show off here. Come here. Come on. The ball joints are so tight. You can see right there, I actually separated the wrist a little bit. Now, the dumb thing is they only gave you one set of backs of the hands, so you do have to pull those off every single time you want to change the hands. Swap it over. But I guess that's not super different from a normal HG. This is an MG. And tag that in there, and wow, that went limp instantly. And then you can start shooting at your enemies like so. And I can't remember if he actually ever did it in the series, but he should have, because it would have made sense. Basically grab another suit by the face and then just blast it. Now, he did use this thing a couple times, but it seems like Shin always underutilized it. The one thing that Destiny was never short of was weapons and gimmicks. So, that thing, which equates to just a big beam being fired. And part of me thinks that Bandai somewhat used some of the design when coming up with some of the new figurized standard kits for like Dragon Ball and the like. Now, this hand also has another use for some of his other weapons. Nope, oh, there it went. I guarantee that's not going to be the first time it falls. Well, okay, I guarantee it's not going to be the only time it falls. It's definitely the first. No, that's not true either. It fell while the camera was off. Alright, so you get these weird, swoopy, what I like to call spider webbing parts. So, clips around the wrist the exact same way. Now, these are not meant to be beam effects. These are just a clear effect for the shoulder boomerangs. Technically, they're called beam boomerangs, but I'm calling them a shoulder boomerang. Now, before we get to how that works there, let's look at these guys. Just cool little spiky handled things. You can hold them probably in the open, these type of hands, probably easier. Though they don't peg in or anything, you can just wrap the hand around it. Now, you got two different things you can do with this. You can either use it, oops, wrong parts. You can use it like a straight beam saber, which it kind of did. I think he did it at least once, where he used those basically like straight up beam saber blades, but a lot more jagged. One thing about the beam technology in Seed is that it was a little bit different than like UC or any others. Now, because they have their boomerang mode, you have the vent that faces this way, and you have an angled short blade, and you want that to face the opposite way. Like so. And by the way, guys, these are the same sparkly pink translucent blades that you got with the Impulse. Which, by the way, I found the Impulse's other curved blade. Unless this thing has a normal beam saber on it somewhere that I don't remember being a thing. And I'm starting to remember that I think there is one somewhere, but I can't. Like up in here, maybe? I don't remember. But I don't care. This thing has so many beam weapons, it doesn't need a standard beam saber ever. So, you have these. Now, the whole point was to use the spider webbing. And you do get a left and right one, and they are different lengths for some strange reason. So, you've got the right one, which is significantly longer. So, yay for that. Now, you just take the little round area here and stick it right up in the open part of the handle. Literally, that's all you got to do. And you want to stick the hand back on again. I'm feeling that palm joint is really going to get weak now. I feel like it already is. And you can have him flinging a beam boomerang, which the boomerangs seem to come up a couple times. I think Justice has them too, or Infinite Justice does. So, yay for beam boomerangs. Alright, so we've still got plenty of stuff to look at. I'm kind of going to go with the shield next. In a way, I'm stripping it down so that I can do some of the other things as well. Now, he does have this nice physical arm shield. I say nice because I'm being nice about it. There's no point for this. There really is not. Because, I mean, you've got really simple construction. You have a very simple little peg on the back, goes right into the arm. And actually, it slides open like that because this thing doesn't need a physical arm shield. This is what I'm saying. With the Destiny design, it's over-designed. It has way more stuff than it ever actually needs because it doesn't actually need this because it has this. Totally has beam shields, which in the Seed universe proved to be far superior to standard physical shields. So it's a redundancy that is stupid and overly redundant, actually. Now, you want to take this part out. Okay, so the clip was in the back. That's right. It's been a while since I messed with it, so forgive me, guys. So you want to push it up and out, or down and in. It doesn't want to go. Hold on, I need a beam saber to poke it out there with. Come on. What the heck? I just had it. And obviously that's how that goes. This needs to shift outward. Jeez. That's way too difficult. Then again, it's probably been a very long time since I've even utilized this. Now, you flip that part out. And that's just pegged into a very, very small hinge. And you just want to take the beam part. And this is one of the more annoying things. Unlike some of the previous suits that would sandwich the part, this literally just kind of... it loops it around one side and tries to get it back on the other. And it is not... oh, I think I had it backwards. That would explain it. No, I didn't. I had it right. By the way, I don't know if you guys have realized this, but Andy really likes to torture me when it comes to his picks. He likes to really make me work for his Patreon picks. There we go. And that is about as good as that's going to get, ladies and gentlemen. And then you just plug this back on. Now, I like the fact that it's on the hand because it gives you a little bit more maneuverability with your shield. I don't like the fact that it can't rotate. It can't do anything. It's just kind of stuck. And I'm trying to have patience. I'm trying to have patience with it. Trying to keep my patience. Oh, I see what happened here. I had it in the wrong spot. So, realistically, while it's a cool effect and it actually looks pretty neat, it's a redundancy that doesn't need to be there, and in fact, it's a pain in the ass to even use. They should have always... wow, this guy's ankles are just giving out. This is a problem with heavy backpacks. Your ankles don't function properly. Tilt the weapons back. I'm about to put it on the stand and go from there. They really should have just given you two separate pieces for the middle. One that pegs in and one that doesn't. Like a blank and then the original. Because that would actually give you somewhere to start. You just pull the other one off and replace it with the part with the shield. There, finally. Holy crap. So that actually looks cool. It's neat, but man is it a pain to use properly. And yeah, see, look, I can't, I'm just not bothering anymore. And yeah, I'm frustrated with this. Is one reason why this has been a long time coming on Master Grade Monday, because I knew this kit is a handful. So throwing the beam shield away, I just threw it over there amongst the pile of other things. Now we move on to some of his primary weapons. And I'm going to go with the backpack mounted sword. Now you do get the ability to swing it out for no real reason, because you still can't reach the handle. So I know it's supposed to be mounted that way, but I don't understand for the life of me why it is. And from what I recall, those things aren't identical. So I think the gun only mounts on the one side and the sword only mounts on the one side. I don't think you can reverse them, but I'm also not going to try. So you get this huge new ship sword, because that's what we do in this universe. It looked pretty neat, and yeah, I did some painting touches on it. I added some silver, I added some gold, I added, well, that red sticker was already there. So it does fold up very nicely, but then you can also flip it out as such. And then you have a big stabby metal parts. Yay for that. Now the cool thing is, oh, I thought I already did it. Because it is an anti-ship sword, it can slice through many things, but you need this big ridiculous beam effect for that. So you pull it up, that slides open, this part folds out, and actually this part folds out too. I totally forgot that was back there. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I forgot that was part of that until just now. You insert it at the top. You kind of squidge it into the bottom, like so, and just line it up, and there's your big, ridiculous beam sword. Now, I'm going to bring in our old friend from last week. So here's the Impulse. Move back there, Destiny. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do the rest of this with it on the stand. Just because I know it won't fall. It's going to look ridiculous for right now. Let's bring up the camera. Now, this is a thing that was brought up on a video I watched a long time ago, and it was why the Destiny's design is the worst ever. So here's the Excalibur from the Impulse. Now, the thing with anti-ship swords, they need to be able to slice through armor and everything. The beam effect, of course, makes that happen, where the physical sword itself doesn't really do a lot. But the fact that this beam starts down here, comes all the way up and wraps around, means that this sword can slice through from the tip and actually poke through, and then it can continue to slice. With the Destiny's sword, which is a quote-unquote upgrade, you lose the beams that can cut through virtually anything, except for beam reflective material, and beam sabers, and beam shields. And you go with this physical blade that goes right here and right here. Here's the problem. This metal chunk of emitter will stop this and just chink, plunk, and then the beam down here. So your cutting edge is only right through here. But then the rest of it is not going to do the job that it needs to do. And using it against a normal beam saber, the funny thing is that when beams collide in this universe, and you never ever see two beam sabers actually collide in this universe, these beams are not constructed the same way. They don't have a containment field in the same way that a lot of other ones do. So once it's broken, it doesn't really do anything. So when a beam saber hits this, it'll pass right through the other beam and cut the metal part in half. Yep. But most beam sabers will actually just pass right through each other in this universe. So while it works on metal, beams don't work on beams in these things, because they're not constructed the same way, and that's all due to the tech specs. But while we have it here, just because, there's your two Shin-Asuka mobile suits. Obvious color scheme is obvious. And I actually like the brighter gray here rather than the dark kind of muddled gray here. This had a lot more detail work than this, and it was a newer kit, so it's really strange that they sort of went backwards. But seeming that the actual Zaft engineers went backwards with some of this stuff, you know, it sort of makes sense. Now what I was going to do was bring in the special hands for holding the sword, because of course we have more hands. It is very much an HG style hand where the front of the fingers comes off. You slide the slot right in there and you put it back together. Now I am totally okay with these for this weapon because it holds it very nicely. It's not a super snug connection, but it's pretty damn good. Go ahead and pull the back of the hand off with the beam shield emitter. Go ahead and plug this one back in. And put the beam emitter back on. So, I mean, it actually is not bad when he's holding the sword. Normally I have him with it up and over his shoulder. Gotta use a bunch of the joints, and I have him with the beam. And I forgot that I didn't even have the beam effect actually as part of it. So I have him like usually like that, and then I think he was holding the rifle. But let's move on. Now coming back to the backpack, you have the very large beam cannon here, and it is very, very reminiscent of all of the other large, like, they're not Tannhausers, but I can't remember exactly what they are, but also very, very similar to what the Strike had. I feel like this whole back skirt is just loose as crap, and it is. So you can totally fold it down. It'll come out from underneath, and then just like the sword, it unfolds. It is a very long rifle. I believe that is actually longer than the one for the Strike or Strike Freedom. And you do have the handle that folds out and turns like so. And if you are so inclined, by the way, there's a camera sticker right back in there. And if you're so inclined to really tweak the shoulders, you can actually get him to grab it. I believe if you really want, you can actually remove the entire thing, but for the most part, you want to leave it connected anyways. So just get it all up in there like so, and you get a really cool kind of pose. I will say the backpack makes it a little awkward on this guy because it looks like he has a huge hunch on his back. Am I the only one who sees that? So, yay for backpack cannon mount. Let's actually tilt him a little bit, see if we can get that cannon into some action. One problem being I can see that the chest and backpack and everything is not lining up properly back through there. So the actual stand, oops, I may have just broken it. Okay, so let's go ahead and show off this dumb gimmick. So if you really want to get it into a super wide leg stance, there's a little switch down here that you flip it backwards, you spread the legs, and I think it'll somehow set use the hips and try to get that really spread leg stance. I'm gonna leave them like that for now because eventually we'll get to the rest of it. Now taking it off the stand for a minute, I'm going to come back here. See if I can... No, I'm just not going to mess with it. Alright, since we're already working on this, I've already messed it up, but let's work on articulation real quick before we get to the final kind of gimmick, because I know you all are wondering where it is. Coming close, you can see the face, and we got some nice eyes in there, along with the red tears, which all that's molded in, so you don't have to paint any of that. You got the big ridiculous V-fin, couple camera stickers, and even the Vulcans actually molded in the frame color. That's awesome. There's a ball joint up top and a hinge at the bottom, so you can turkey neck very nicely. Turkey. Rotate all the way around. Not bad. Now you come to the chest and the shoulders. Actually, hold on, let me de-lock the crotch here. Hold on. Switch. You're supposed to unlock, lock in place. Because now I've got the hips spread out a little. Oh, by the way, it does have a cockpit, which is right in here. I figured I might as well show that off. I almost never can get a cockpit open properly. So let's see. You can sort of see a little shin right in there. As usual, I don't paint those figures, but I think I might on one or two of these guys. Come on, get in there. Stay. Okay, so with the hips, or I'm sorry, the waist, you get that little latch back there that will actually... I need a beam saber again. I need a little beam saber clippy. So you can see that switch right there is what will, quote-unquote, lock your torso. Trying to remember, does the entire backpack come off, or is it a pain? Well, that shows it off right there. Well, I'm going to leave the backpack over there, and I'm going to pin that in there so he actually has a little bit of a lean forward. You got this T-mounted thing here, little guides for all that. I'm going to do articulation without the backpack because it's going to make my life so much easier. Rotation at the waist. Of course, like I said, you've got that waist. Ab crunch. That's the word I'm looking for. Friggin' ab crunch. I'm so frustrated with this, I can't think. Alright, now he's got some cool butterflies here for shoulders, but they're kind of complicated. So you pull that out, and this one works significantly better. I don't know what this one is always hung up, but you can see the cool frame inside there. That's actually nice. I will give them credit where credit is due. That looks nice. Doesn't work that well, doesn't look that good, except for the frame. See this part up here? Never wants to tuck back in properly. Now, one problem with coated parts is they get very, very stiff. So, the shoulders are very, very stiff. So, you can rotate all the way around. Notice I'm rotating everything all together and close as possible to the joint. The shoulder armors can flip-flop. You can put it out to 90 degrees. With the bicep rotation, you get that. You get double jointed elbows. They can actually reach up and try to grab his own shoulders. And you can almost get a nice high teacher height. And you got the wrist rotation up here. And then on the movable hands, like the left hand here, you get the standard 3-finger approach here, single finger, thumb, and then the actual wrist joint like so. So you can actually punch somebody with the shield if you really wanted to, which I don't know why they never did that. That would have been awesome. So like that. Now the hard part I seem to have is getting these shoulders to keep looking good. They should always be in sort of an upward position like that. Now these side skirts are incredibly annoying because while he needs to be able to do the splits, that's as far as those side skirts go. So if you really want to do them, you got to flip that out, and you get some nice painted parts in there, or coated parts, I should say. Front skirts, a little bit limited, ball joint mounted, if I had to guess. Yep, I can see it. So you can flip these forward and get your legs tilted all the way up about that far. Also very stiff hips. I'm being very careful with this. Mind you, I haven't done much with it ever. So it's rotating in the center part, and then you've got the extra hinge right through there. You actually see some nice plated parts right through here on the leg, but then some gold paint, if I had to guess. So maybe I did that little knurled part right there. That's awesome. Now, should have thigh rotation, and it does. Once again, very stiff. You can see it's almost moving in sections. And then if you move the hips up like so, you can see all the shininess going on right here. Now, I wish that this whole part had been painted too, but oh well. And that's obviously the switch that you flip. So you want to unlock, spread, and then lock in the back. And honestly, this plastic is so thin, I'm incredibly scared to keep messing with it. This hip is so stiff. I'm trying to move it at the top of the joint, and it's being very, very difficult. There we go. Like I said, you got to move those hips backwards. Now, if you move the knee, you get the sliding leg armor there. You got the nice open joint. I painted that with a little bit of gold there. Double jointed knee means he can kick himself in his own butt. All the nice supplemental moving armor. Gotta love that. You got some gold and some silver all down in here with thrusters. You got back of the leg thrusters that look really nice. Right there. A little bit of gold paint on the inside of that. And come down to the ankles that are pretty weak, not gonna lie. You do have the piston gimmick, just like Impulse did. So you can move the pistons up and down. You got some chromish parts all over that. And then painted some gold elsewise. The whole bottom of the foot is nice and shiny. Gotta love that. No toe point, and that bothers me. And I did not do a good job of cleaning up these feet. I can tell you that. That's just ugly. Trying to do archaeology on my old kits always is a sad thing, guys. And that's it for articulation. So let's set this guy up on a stand again. Oh, that doesn't work. What am I thinking? Let's look at the backpack just for a minute. because it's been out of the way. Yeah, I'm so to the point of not caring that much that I'm just leaving stuff hanging off the back. And I had forgotten that this entire side skirt had popped out. There we go. I thought it was this. I thought the butt skirt popped off. It wasn't. It was the side skirt. So that's funny. Okay, so set him off here, doing the splits. Look at the backpack a little bit. Now we've seen that the weapons, this is supposed to kind of almost chuck in a little bit. Oh, I see what it is. These tabs right here slide into that groove. Nice. Always wondered. And yeah, you can totally remove that. And I think I might be wrong in saying that. Hold on. I feel like there's a whole thing that I'm missing here. I know that works that way. That works that way. What am I missing here? There's more gimmick here. I can see it. Just trying to figure out how the heck it works. Turn that. Turn. Oh. I could consult the instructions. Okay, so when you turn. Oh, that's awesome. When you turn the handle, that's when these other parts come out. So you get a camera here and the camera there. That's awesome. I guarantee you I didn't remember that from back in the day, or even notice that it did that. And I got some painted parts in here too. This looks like it's sticking out significantly further than it should be, but that's neat. That's some cool engineering. And I do like the giant cannon. It's just that it's attached to such an annoying thing that it sort of ruins it. Alright, actually, you know what? Leave the cannon, leave the sword. We'll just look at the backpack. So you got the nice red and black wings. You got the nice spiky bit here. Got this here. And then I got some gold paint all up inside there. Got some gold detail paint here. Now, these parts are already chrome pistons. That's neat. Now, if I had had a chrome marker back in the day, I probably would have added a lot more chrome to this. Now, I've got some gold here, 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 here. I did a lot of gold detailing on these wings. And, of course, the wings can expand and look all neat like that. This is where I was thinking beam sabers. But I painted each one of these with some gold. The gray part was already on there, so that's nice and molded in different. And you've got the top of the thrusters right there that added some more gold paint too. So these wings are neat looking. They don't function worth a damn. And one problem with that is they are always fixed in this position. So always fixed with a little bit of here. So you can also slide them open, like so. And while it appears that you can hinge them a little, you can, but not much. And honestly, you don't want to force it. You can turn them, but the weapons pack back here means they can never face backwards. So even though there are thrusters here, and actually not down here, I thought there were, they're not going anywhere. They're not going to help with forward thrust. Not the wings. The big thrusters back here, of course, will. And I've got some gold paint back in there, a little bit of there on the hoses. So I was working on detailing. And the cool thing is this is hinged. I actually like that. And I think these are technically supposed to be minor thrusters as well. Now, of course, the main gimmick for this guy is the wings of light. And I know you all have been waiting for that since the beginning of this review, when you didn't even see them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave him in the splits, but actually I'm going to lower these legs down. Oh, shit balls. Okay. See, that's the problem. These hips are so tight. You know what? I'm just going to leave them in the normal splits like that. And I'm going to put him back on the stand because I'm going to need a free hand or two here. Now, the wings of light, let's just talk about the wings of light themselves, technologically. They look neat. They got this cool effect, and you do actually get them. They actually did capture the cool rainbow coalescent effect there. And yeah, huge sheets of thin plastic that do mount to the wings. Of course, like I said, you got two. We got one over here. These are very, very stupid. The plastic is fine. It doesn't exactly fit, and I'll show you why. You get these clips right here, and I'll show you. They go in up there. But then you also get this little guy right here, this little plastic piece. And you see this circular cutout. Now this, and I'm going to try to go by memory here, has to go around said cutout. Now you've got this side, which obviously has, hard to see, has that little bit there. And you've got the square cutout side there. Now, off the top of my head, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't recall which way these are supposed to go. So I'm going to try them one way, and then I'm going to try them the other. Now, the main problem is these will constantly come off. As soon as you pull the wings out, they will totally pop off. Now, I've got this side set up in the same manner. That one popped off as well. Now, to get them in here, this part goes in this little slot here, and then you've got another part right up under the thruster is where those key in, and they're supposed to go behind these fins, if I remember correctly. I think you can go one way or the other. The top one clips in fairly nice, no problem there. Bottom one, and there you go. That would be the problem right there. Some minutes later. And you try to get the fracking wing installed. And I hate it. I really do. I absolutely hate it. I cannot, it will not go. Let me try the other side. Maybe this side will be better. I highly doubt it. I mean, the other thing is maybe I got it backwards. Maybe this is the one for this side. And if that's what's going on, then I'm dumb, and I'm sorry. Because that would also make a lot of sense, because they're not marked left to right. Okay, so, guys, I'm so stupid. This is the one. They're curved inward, not backwards. So, you know what? Just forget all of the things I just struggled with. Actually, don't forget that. It's not worth it. And guys, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. The Wings of Light are stupid. Because unlike the Wings of Light, say from the Victory or the Moonlight Butterfly, which actually had an effect, they were either direct weapons or were actual thrust or result of thrust. These Wings of Light are literally just a light show. They don't do anything. In universe, in canon, they don't do anything. Do I even have that right? Yeah, I got it right. Okay. The reason they even exist is an accidental collision of different technologies that they threw into this thing experimentally. So it's the Mirage Colloid system, which is their kind of cloaking tech that they use in this universe, combined with one of the other particles. I think it might even just be the exhaust. So while he activates these things and then, quote-unquote, throws himself forward, like you would see, they don't produce any thrust. It is, in fact, just a light show. So it's just particles being put off. It's almost like the effect of the F-91 whenever it's moving so fast, and the reason why you're seeing multiple versions is a combination of the metal coming off of it and stuff like that. So it's actually, it's just an effect that doesn't do anything. It was just there to look pretty. Now, because we've did all this work, we're going to go ahead and give him his really dumb and highly repeated attack pose, or at least to the best of my ability. And while it sounds like I've been hating on this the entire time, it's because I really, really don't like this kit. I really don't. Oh, okay, I take it back. The kit's not bad. It's not a bad build, but I've been so frustrated over the years. The hands, just every little thing that should be simple isn't. They overcomplicated the design of this kit, just like the actual Gundam is overcomplicated. There's no reason for it to have a physical shield, because it has actual beam shields, which would totally protect it from virtually everything. It has a giant beam sword, or ship sword, that actually would be more useful if they gave it back the technology that the previous model had. The wings of light are absolutely pointless. They just look pretty. So many things about this kit should be better. So many things about this Gundam should be better. And don't get me wrong, the Strike Freedom is also very overrated. But at least everything it had worked the way it should have, and worked. It wasn't an accident of technologies. And Shin was supposed to be the new antagonist. He was supposed to be the new hero. And his Gundam, everything just got overridden by how cool Kira was. Let's just be honest here. Raise up the light, push it back, and that's about as close as you're going to get, because you can't technically push the sword totally forward. Let's just go to final thoughts. Alright guys, kind of like how Dennis did the other day on his channel for fun, seeing if we could get the actual kit in the pose from the box. And kind of. Let me see if I can get, maybe I can get a little more tilt out of that backpack. I gotta get back in there with the beam saber again. Get that tilt, get that real tilt going. That didn't help anything. And tilt him just forward a little. But close enough. So we got the Poem Fiacina, we got the blade. I'm probably gonna actually use this for a screenshot if I'm honest. But guys, if you're really a big fan of this Gundam, I definitely suggest it. As a build, it's not bad. You do have to be careful with the chrome parts, or the coated parts at least. Oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to. So it's close. It's pretty damn close. The head, maybe I need to rock it forward a little. Good enough. Anyways, so be careful with the coated parts at best, you know. If you feel like painting it up, go for it. I'm not a big fan of the Gundam itself, to be totally honest with you guys. If you're gonna get it, get this version. It's not like it was premium Bandai or anything like that. It is more expensive for obvious reasons. You get more stuff than you would. You don't get the beam effects. You don't get anything with the original version. You don't get the coated parts and stuff like that. But I think if you're a fan of Seed Destiny, like some people are, not myself, I was for sure. And I used to like this Gundam a lot more. This kit, honestly, kind of hurt it for me. Because it just... One problem is this hand doesn't really want to hold the weight of the sword. It keeps dropping it. I guess the polycap or whatever that is actually holding that together kind of sucks. Go ahead and get that up a little bit. There we go. Whatever. Just whatever, guys. I'm done with it. I'm done with this review. Andy, I hate you sometimes. If you really just want the Wings of Light, go for that. But I would probably say maybe try to get the RG version, I think. Maybe it's better. The MG, if you really need to complete your MG shelf, definitely get this guy. And while it might look cool, it has so many flaws, so many issues with the design. The engineering on some of it is just appalling and weak. It's under-engineered in some places and over-engineered in others, and I hate that. So, but I'll catch you guys on the next review. And once again, this was Andy's pick because he's a Patreon guy. If you're interested in figuring out how you can do that, it'll be right there on the screen. If you guys are new here and you like what I'm doing, make sure you give a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Of course, Master Grade Monday is pretty much every week when I actually remember to do it, which this one is actually being filmed early for once. So that's awesome. Push that back. Maybe a little cooler from a distance. I'll see you guys on the next review. Remember, as always, keep on building.